didn't get an opportunity to invest in a franchise early,
who are spending time and money to sell homes,
building someone else's saleable asset.
How do we grow a business but still build wealth?
Have an exit strategy,
and get a piece of the pie that's not dependent
on us working more hours and every weekend?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
My name is Jay Kinder.
My name is Al Stasek.
And I'm Michael Reese. We are your hosts, and welcome to the One Big Fire podcast.
What's up, everybody? I'm here today with Michelle Humes. How are you doing today, Michelle?
I'm great, Jay. How are you?
Doing fantastic. And this is one of our top 200 interviews. So this is going to be an interview. We're going to talk a little bit about your production because you have some insane numbers in production. And then we'll talk a little bit about agent attraction, what's working for you, right, and how you've built your organization here at EXP. So let's talk some of the numbers. So you know one of the things that is I think the most amazing about your business is how long you've been in the business, which is basically 6 years now, right?
Correct.
So and let's talk production. Well, so what's production? First of all, when did you join EXP? And then what's the growth been like for you since you joined?
Okay, so I joined EXP at the end of 2019. I started my team in the beginning of 2018. And since 18, we've done until 2021, we've done 150-ish million in production. Wow. And then this year we're on pace to do 100 million just this year alone. Right.
That's incredible growth. And so, and what about how big is your team and your staff, and how's that growing alongside the production?
Yeah. So when we came to EXP, we were 10 all in with staff and agents. And today we have 38 agents and 13 both full and part-time staff.
Goodness gracious, that is a big team. And so
it is a big team.
It is. And so, yeah. So, how is this all in the Atlanta area, or where is the team spread to from here?
It is. So we're in Peachtree City, which is just south of the Atlanta airport. We are home to Chick-fil-A, Delta Airlines, the largest movie studio outside of California, Pinewood Studios. So we have a ton of people coming here from other states that has allowed us to grow the way we have as well. And I think EXP actually was the main component in our growth, if I had to put my finger on one thing.
Right. Oh, that's great. And so, and certainly, you know, the people that you're surrounded with, right? Like, there's a lot of really top people within the group and whatnot. Has that played a role? Is that played a role in learning from some of the other agents that are building big businesses, or how has that played into it?
Yeah. So I actually was asked that last week on another podcast. Someone asked me the number one thing that I would say contributed to our growth, and what I wish I could have told myself 5 years ago or 6 years ago when I got in the business. And it's right, to surround yourself, go to rooms where people are bigger, badder, more awesome than you, and learn how to be like them. And that's exactly what's happened to us at EXP. I've never seen, people don't believe us when we say this. I know, but it is true. I have never been at a company or been in business with anyone where if I called you tomorrow and said, Jay, I don't know how to do this, if you didn't have the answer for me, you'd say, Michelle, I'm going to get that answer for you. And we're going to open this playbook up and share it with each other. And no matter if we're aligned or not, the whole company is full of people like that.
Yeah. It's just an abundance mindset. And there's just and I think, I think just because the opportunity is what it is at EXP, and that does attract a lot of abundance type people, is maybe what it is. But it's special. It's nothing like anything I've ever seen before. That's for sure.
No, and so I'm somewhat spoiled because I have not been in the business that long. Sometimes I think that's a real advantage for me because I don't know what other places are like. I don't know how it feels to, be making a broker owner a ton of money instead of these agents. These agents on my team can have life-changing money. Not me, not just me, them, all of us. So that's cool. It's a great model.
That's a big deal. It's definitely worth, I think, highlighting in this conversation is, your agents are benefiting from the EXP model. It's certainly not hurting your ability to recruit, obviously, because you went from, 8 agents to 35 agents in
38,
yeah. So 38. So that's incredible, right? And you have a better way to help those agents grow their business within EXP. And then there's the financial incentives, obviously, for them to help you grow the team as well, right? So recruiting is expanding your business, obviously, but they're also getting to participate in some of that revenue share. So certainly makes it a lot easier, I think, to recruit talent, to your team.
Yeah, and I would say too that to me has been something that has been very interesting to watch unfold. I wouldn't even say I'm that super organized at recruiting. I'm really not. Some of it's been haphazard because I was building the team while doing it, and systems and processes and making sure we're doing a lot of business to support the growth had to be my number one priority.
Right.
So the recruiting I would say of those, 38 on our team, some of it, they had to track me down to get me to answer them to come on the team. So
right.
in the next couple of years, I'm going to get real organized about it.
Right. Yeah. It's certainly, when you're growing at that pace, you're just trying to keep the wheels between the ditches,
Yes. Stay in between the lines.
Right.
So.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So tell me more, I guess, more specifically, how did you get to 38 agents? What does that process look like? Obviously you said, you've been busy and maybe not out there as purposeful in the agent attraction side of things, but how did you end up with 38? That's such a big number.
So, and those are on our team. So I would say the number one thing that I do, and this is for team leaders or people who want to grow a team, I think this is really, really crucial. I talk all the time about how we want more agents just like these agents, right? So I was a teacher before, and I'm teaching our agents that, and I say the same words every single week, know an agent like you. Because guess what? We can all identify abundant thinkers. We can all identify people who are learning based. We can all identify people who are growth minded. Not everybody is, and that's okay. But when I ask the agents, they really are the ones that are like, hey, I just did that co-op and they are just like us. I'm going to introduce them to Michelle, that kind of thing. Yep. I would say that's number one.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. That's just an organic way to find people that are like-minded and that will be a good culture fit, and bringing them along for the journey.
Yeah, and I'm really purposeful about showcasing on social media when our agents win. And so, I love to showcase when someone on our team is succeeding at a high level. It is not uncommon for someone brand new in the business to come on our team, spend several weeks in the training program, but then under contract within 30 to 40 days. That is completely normal on our team. And so I also think that, if you tell people you will be writing contracts in 30 to 45 days, guess what people do?
Yeah.
They write contracts.
That's such a simple philosophy.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Love that. Yeah. So what's the vision for your team? And I mean, because you're huge in the Atlanta area that you're in. Are you looking to expand the team into other areas, or what's kind of the vision for the team?
So definitely we're going to expand first in our metro Atlanta area. I think that's really important. But my next big thing is to really make sure, because I think it's really interesting. Growth at a really fast pace, and you can relate to this, Jay, growth at a really fast pace comes with some surprises, as well as there can be some mindset games that go on, right? Some mind tricks on. So for me, and just being transparent, switching from I'm brand new in the business to actually I built this team and this business, and it's really profitable and it's got great culture. I actually could teach other people how to do this, right? Just because I've been doing it less time than most others doesn't mean I can't transfer that knowledge to others. And so my next focus is out of production. The team is just doing so great on its own. I mean, I'll still be here obviously every single day, but really teaching other team leaders who want to be just like me, who 40 months ago did not have a team, at a part-time assistant. And so, and 250 million later, if you add in this year, I think that I could probably help some others. So that's going to be what we do next. I'm going to work on helping others build their business.
There's no question that, especially once you've gone, you've so recently gone through the growth, that it's the shortcuts to success. It's what everyone should be looking for. I'm not sure what everyone thinks the answer is, right? Sometimes you think you know what you're doing, and sometimes you feel completely lost in this journey of real estate. But it really is duplicatable. The processes, the things that you've done can be done by someone else, and being able to teach that to others it's a great gift, right? It's just something that we're fortunate to be able to do, and to be honest, thanks to the EXP model, we have a vested interest in doing for others as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think that to me is really so. I think looking at what gifts we have, right? So I obviously have the gift of teaching. That's my thing. Like I come from a family of teachers. I always wanted to be a teacher. I never thought it would turn out this way, that I could use that sort of skill in my life. But being able to show someone exactly what I've been able to do and help them build their family's future. I mean, I changed my family's life in the last 3 years. Like,
For sure.
my husband's an opera singer. We were traveling the world 10 months out of the year. We had no savings because it was very expensive to live in all of these exotic places for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months.
Right.
And I was determined to change my family's future. And I just know I can help others to do that. So that's my next big fire.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is kind of the org chart look like, I guess, in where you're at in the business currently? Are you still in you're still in production on the listing side still, or have you completely stepped out?
Very little. I do. I'll probably do one listing every other month just for my former clients if necessary. But most of the time I'm taking a partner listing agent with me to partner on that, just so that we have coverage. And the org chart looks like this. We run, and we're able to run this model with because people will hear those numbers of 38 agents and they're like, who is keeping up with all those people? It's pain. It really works super well. We have 2 tracks for our agents. One track is agents that are receiving company leads and participating in accountability with a lead agent, that kind of thing. The other set of agents are just as important. They're what we call our flexible agents or flex agents. And this is where EXP's model works so great, because they both get to participate in EXP and the things of our culture and our team. But one agent probably runs carpool every single day and is the secondary parent who has mom duty or dad duty. And the other agent is the 40 to 60 hour a week agent that is either the breadwinner or has this, 6-figure career in their mind. Right. Both participate in the team resources, both play the same kind of split. And so it's worked really well. It's 1/3, 2/3 in our team. 1/3 is on company resources leads, and the others 2/3 are really just agents who may want to sell one home a month because they want to be a part of something bigger than just them. Community is our driving force. And so being a part of our community, being a part of this group, being a part of EXP and the network that we have has been really important. All of those agents do have a point of contact. I don't have 38 plus 12 staff reporting to me. We do have lead agents. We have a mentor program. We have obviously the full staff and who they report to. So yeah, it's clearly defined, and I would always be happy to show our org chart to whoever is curious about how we're running that model. Because I don't think it's really the normal model. I think it's because I was a stay-at-home mom. And so I attracted a lot of people who were I want to help with the bills. I want to pay for the family vacation. I want to contribute, but I really can't work 40 hours a week or don't want to. Right. Well, there's a place for them, Right.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. Especially, that it's kind of an underserved market. I think most people probably struggle to find a place where they fit in, where they're not getting hounded to hit numbers and hit production goals that maybe aren't in alignment with what they want to do.
Jay, that's not it for everybody. I mean, I think it's really interesting when you look at big teams and how they're run. I just noticed that and there's lots of really successful teams who are very profitable and do a great job that run that model. That wasn't for me, because I couldn't in good conscience sit across from an agent who said to me, I want to sell a house probably every other month. Could I have a spot on the team? I couldn't say, well, we have these standards and accountability and you can't. No, go down the road to the competing broker. What? No, I wasn't going to do that. So I said, right. I'll make a spot for you.
That's greatness. I love it. So what, I mean, obviously being a little bit newer in the business, there's always surprises as you hit kind of certain levels. What has been something that's been surprising or maybe something unexpected, since being at EXP?
I cannot believe who we get to be in business with. I cannot believe when I say that there's probably someone in our organization who has never met me, that if I wrote them and said, hey, will you be on my podcast, or could I pick your brain for 10 minutes? They would take time for me. That's the most surprising. I'm also surprised that not every single real estate agent knows about our model or doesn't, or knows about it, but chooses to not even talk about it to us because it's the best, not so kept secret anymore. And that has just been, it's the people though. The people have made our experience one that has, like I said, changed our lives, and one that I'm going to be those people for others as well, just because of the growth we've had at EXP.
100%, no question about that. It's interesting. I think most people, the community is everything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just watching the comments. What's up, Kevin? And the people that you surround yourself with, it's clearly the difference maker in life, right? Like, we know that with our kids, but do we practice it as adults? And when you can get around people that can actually make a difference and that are willing to help, it's an incredible feeling to be a part of it. So, and I think, I still think that people just don't know, right? Like, I don't know if it's their, they believe their belief system, right? Like, what their belief system is that's keeping them from having an open mind or actually looking into it, or like being attracted to the opportunity to at least investigate it. But it seems like even still this day, I have conversations daily with agents that really didn't understand the model. They just didn't understand the benefits of what it would be like to be partnered up with someone like yourself that can make such a big difference in somebody's growth in the business. Well,
I think from the perspective of having been at a different brokerage until now, it kind of sounds too good to be true.
True.
And it's also, yeah, and it is. And it's also very, like, in our town, there are not that many people who come in Atlanta. There are just not a ton of EXP agents yet. Right. And it takes someone that's very brave to say, well, if it sucks, I'll go somewhere else. Right. I mean, you have to be a risk taker, and you have to be willing to take a chance in life, in owning your business. And geez, we're all entrepreneurs. We're all business owners. To me, that is the number one differentiator in any agent in running their own businesses. I'm taking control of my financial future by going against what's popular right now, or what is the norm or the average, because I want to be different and I want to make a difference for others and for my family.
Yeah, love it. Always, one of my favorite quotes: money moves to difference, not similarity. So,
it's a good one.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, so what would you say to anybody out there that's listening, maybe that wants to grow their business and hasn't reached out and just hasn't had a conversation with you?
I would say reach out, because what's the harm in hearing about it? You hear about it privately. No one's going to know you asked. It doesn't matter if you find out. I mean, ask the questions, get the information, and then take your time and make an informed decision. Do the math on it. I think doing the math on what it could mean. So for us coming over as a mega team, the math for my agents just made sense. And so that was a huge deciding factor for me. If you're somebody that wants to grow a team, or you are an individual agent that wants to have an even bigger business and are thinking about what could the future hold if I switched gears at this point, forget your fears and just ask the questions. Reach out and ask.
100%. Yep. Get curious for sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
And, Sam Holman makes a great point here. He said, "Hey, remember, Jay, it took you a minute to see the opportunity," which is true. It took me a year and three conversations, and it was all about timing more than anything. It just, sometimes it's just not the right time. It's a great point. And then sometimes it just doesn't click, as Sam has made it.
And I think, there's no harm in having a conversation now and make a move in 6 months. I think that would be wise to do. I also did not make a move the first time I heard about the opportunity. It took time and the right circumstances, but it was always on my mind about what would that mean? What would that look like? And for me, it was a really unpopular local decision, obviously. And yet it brought a lot of curiosity to others, and they started showing up. So it wasn't nothing about our growth. We moved right before COVID. So during COVID, almost a brand new team, and we've still tripled our agent count, and our production's up 173% from last year. It worked out okay.
It definitely did, didn't it? And I always look at, what's the worst that could happen, right? You join and you decide to leave and go back wherever, to wherever you were before. I mean, that's not too bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything, wrong with that and having that mindset. I've always said that on every decision I've made is if I hate it, I moved to Munich, Germany for my husband's career at 23 years old. I had been married to him for like 5 weeks. And I thought to myself, well, what are we doing? We don't speak German. I barely know this man. I can't work there because I couldn't have a work visa. And I thought, if I hate it, I'll tell him we hate it. We're moving home. We'll break the contract if we have to. But you know what? Yep. It worked out. It changed our lives. Living abroad does that. As you know, when you go live somewhere else, it's super uncomfortable and it changes you as a person. And it was a great learning experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's I kind of feel the same way. I wasn't quite as ambitious when I was younger, I guess, in terms of moving. It was difficult for me to leave Lawton, Oklahoma and move to Dallas. It wasn't near as difficult for me to leave Frisco and move to Puerto Rico, but
that worked out fine.
Yeah. Outside of the schooling here, which is still closed down and apparently staying that way for a while. Outside of that, it's freaking amazing. It's just incredible. But my kids are getting to have experiences that they wouldn't have had just because honestly, because my wife was open-minded enough to look at it. And our philosophy, Michael and I have a philosophy is we always say yes until we have to say no. And so we always say yes to opportunity. Why would we say no to an opportunity if we haven't fully investigated it to see if it's in alignment with our values and vision? If it is, then we keep saying yes. If it isn't, then weventually we'll have to say no. But we're always going to say yes to look at the opportunity. I think that's a good way to live.
And I think it's so important. I love that example of your kids. Kids they're sponges. So if you say, hey, your mom and I think this is a great idea, we're going to go try it. What are you showing your kids? You're showing your kids that if it ended up being the wrong decision, that's okay. Then we pivot, then we change direction, and then we make a different choice, right? And I can't think of a better example about showing kids how you can really live life. And even though we all have fears, I would say you and I, just like anybody else, have the same fears. I have fears around letting these people down that have trusted me. I have fears about making sure they can all get paid, right? And the more successful we are, they don't go away. I just learn how to manage them in a different way and navigate it. And it's the same thing about the brokerage. I think that, it doesn't go away having a conversation about changing gears because it's scary. But at the end of the day, it can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Anything you would want to leave anybody with? Obviously, I think if you're in real estate and you're serious and you want to build a team, as Michelle said, you should reach out to her, have a conversation. Yeah. We would love to help you. We would love to be in business with you, and that's one of the benefits of being at EXP. But anything else you would want to leave people with before we jump off?
I'm just so grateful to be in business with you, Jay and Mike and Albie, and you guys have just, I know how busy you are. I know how many people we have in our organization, and yet every time I write you and ask for anything, whether it's a win that I've had or a frustration that I'm having, you guys are there for me and just so helpful. And I just love that, a girl from Peachtree City, Georgia with 6 years under her belt and a guy like Jay Kinder living in Puerto Rico who has just had tremendous success in everything you've done, how we can be partners. And I just think that is the exact example of what can happen for so many others. So happy to help whoever we can.
So pay it forward. That's it. That's the right. Secret. There was the people that paid it forward to me and helped me with my business. I didn't figure it out myself. I learned from others, and the gift. That gift is just a gift that keeps on giving as we continue to pay that forward to anybody who wants to learn and grow. So appreciate it, man. This is awesome. It was great having a conversation with you. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to do it, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks for the opportunity, Jay. It was great to see you. Bye, everybody. Bye.